Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's Cinco de Mayo today.
Oh, that's right.
I can't believe you're sober. Now, we'll get around to talking about that and other special things going on today. Also, I do have a special guest today as well. I'm going to be visiting today with Frans DeWaal. He's an author, and he's got a book called Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are? So I'm excited to chat with Frans. It's going to become... I've never talked to anybody named Frans before, have you?
No.
It'll be my first Frans. Hey, Starbucks is blaming the mortgage meltdown for their slump in sales. They're saying people can't afford a house and Starbucks, so you got to choose. And selfishly, people are choosing a house. A pregnant woman who was fleeing a bear when she was struck by a slow-moving car said she would honor the euthanized animal by giving her baby the middle name Bear.
Oh, my gosh. The bear was trying to kill you.
Well, she was fleeing the bear, and the bear was struck by a car. So she's gonna name her. She could have named her kid Dodge.
People are stupid.
Ford. Whatever hit the bear. So at least she chose the bear. That's kind of nice. All right, got some special things happening today. We'll tell you what those are in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Halfway through, I wanted to make sure I was actually on the radio here. It's Cartoonist Day. It's Thursday, May the 5th. It's Cinco de Mayo. It's Cartoonist Day. Childhood Stroke Awareness Day.
Ew.
International Day of the Midwife. International Roller Derby Day. Martin Z. Mollusk Day. National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day. National Day of Reason. Totally Chipotle Day. World Password Day. And today is Revenge of the 5th. Kind of like Revenge of the Sith from Star Wars.
Yeah, I get it.
Yesterday was May the 4th be with you, so today is Revenge of the 5th.
Wow.
There you go. So that was just a way for the Star Wars people to keep the party going.
They're just really reaching.
Like, hey, let's just keep it going. Let's do this in 2 days. All right. Coming up, we got a great story to share. It's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
Do you like fun t-shirts? Our friends at 80s Tees have a bunch of fun designs from the movies and pop culture. This month, we're giving you a chance to win a $25 credit to buy the t-shirt you like with designs from Star Wars, Superman, Ghostbusters, Deadpool, and hundreds of others. Sign up to win a $25 credit. Register for free right now at winthisonline.com. We will select 2 winners at the end of this month. You could be one of them, but only if you register at winthisonline.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. What happens if you just refuse to accept when you fail your driving test and you say, no, I passed. No, you failed. No, I passed. Well, French driving students may soon have to wait 24 hours before finding out test results because too many candidates are attacking the examiners when they fail. So they fail them on the spot and they attack them. Some who fail their driving test are venting their frustration by threatening the examiner with death. Once, at least, at gunpoint. This happens in France, so you know. And they're attacking their cars. Under the new policy, already in operation in some areas of France, candidates will have to wait until the end of a 24-hour cooling-off period to be told by mail if they passed. So, then they're going to take it out on the mailman. I failed? Are you kidding me? Get over here. I need to kick somebody. So if they fail their test, they're getting really upset about it over there. Do they not get a second chance?
Well, I'm sure you do.
I don't know. Here, if you fail your driver's test, you can keep taking it until you finally get it. That's why we've got such great drivers on the road. How many times did it take you? 18. How about you? 27. So
I passed mine on the very first try.
Let's trade our insurance information now because this was quite an accident we got ourselves into here. Yeah, you did? You got yours on the first try?
Yes, I did.
I did not.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I drove through a stop sign. But in my defense, there was a tree covering the stop sign.
You say that every time you get a ticket for running a stop sign.
There was a tree. What do you mean? Yeah, like 4 blocks back. There was a tree way back there. No, this one was hanging right over the stop sign. And the funny thing is, when I took my test the next day or 2 days, or whatever it was later, the tree was trimmed. The branch had been removed.
There you go.
There you go. Anyway, in France, they go nuts and beat up the examiners. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. 57-year-old David Walls has Williams, Pennsylvania buzzing. He was enjoying more than his share of adult libations. In other words, he was drunk. Lots of booze. He was really drunk. When a swarm of bees began circling overhead.
Oh.
In his inebriated state, he thought, I'm going to get rid of these bees with my 22 caliber
Oh my gosh!
revolver.
Oh my god!
He put in some little buckshot bullets that he had. Seemed like a good idea at the time. But it wasn't. Walls
Man.
ended up in the hospital when he shot himself in the left hand. So he had a lot to drink. Did I mention that he was drunk at the time?
Yes, you did.
I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because he was drunk and then he got out his gun to shoot at some bees. So first of all, who shoots at bees? I mean, that doesn't
That's
sound like a good idea,
ridiculous.
period. But if you're going to do it, why would you use a 22 caliber? I mean,
Well, you wouldn't want to go bigger.
I don't know. You could kill a bee with a BB if you were a good shot. Just saying. Anyway, this was a bad idea. But kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
A mom in Detroit is facing criminal charges for doing her laundry. I'm sure there's a little more to it than that, right?
I'm sure, yeah.
Her 6-year-old son, Ryan, was in the dryer. Ryan and his sister were simply playing a game of hide and seek, and he decided to hop into the dryer to hide. Apparently, he was good at hide and seek. Tressa Jarek, Ryan's mom, didn't approve, and to punish him, she closed the door, went inside, and turned it on.
My gosh.
He tumbled for 2 minutes, receiving bumps and bruises and red skin, burning himself on the
Oh
the
my
hot dryer.
gosh.
His 8-year-old sister is the one that finally pulled him out. Police arrested mom and sentenced her to 2 years behind bars.
Well, rightfully so.
That was a really bad idea. I remember
Good
when I was
Lord.
a kid, video cameras were still kind of a new thing back then. You know, they were really big. It wasn't like nowadays with a smartphone. But there were some kids who got a hold of a video camera, and they were recording themselves inside the dryers at a laundromat.
Yeah, bad idea.
Yeah, they were breaking the dryers really good. So the guy had security cameras and caught him, and they got in a little bit of trouble for that. So it's a bad idea. You don't want to do that kind of thing. Anyway, we've got your scoop of the day on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. We're going to start out with some dumb criminals here, Heidi. Imagine letting somebody chop off your finger on purpose. Some brothers in Florida did exactly that to their dentist.
Whoa.
You see, the plan was that they would claim that it was an accident, and the three were going to, quote, split the insurance money. But all did not go as planned. The dentist at first agreed, but then quickly changed his mind. Then the brothers became infuriated, so they held the dentist down and forcibly cut off his finger, his index finger, by the way. The dentist could no longer practice, so he collected over $1 million, and when the brothers tried to extort the money from him, he reported them to the FBI, and they were promptly arrested. Here's my question. Did he get to keep the money? Because he was in on this scam to start with, and he changed his mind, but he still was going to defraud the insurance company. So he got $1 million because he said, hey, let's cut off my finger. Oh, no, never mind. And then they cut it off anyway. But it kind of sounds like he got to keep the money, which doesn't seem right to me. Does that seem right to you?
I don't know. If he said no and they did it, I think he should get to keep the money.
But he was still planning on defrauding the insurance company.
Well, I understand that. And why can't you practice on teeth with missing just one finger?
I don't know. Apparently he needed that finger. His index finger. That's the one he uses to point at the tooth. Over here. This tooth right here has got to go. I don't know. I think you could be a 9-fingered dentist.
I think you could too. I've seen lots of like 3-fingered shop teachers. So
There's a ton of those. I mean, if you're a shop teacher with 10 digits, are you really a shop teacher? I mean, you're a PE teacher that's pretending to be a shop teacher. I've never met a shop teacher with all their digits. And if you are one, that's awesome. That means you're a very safe shop teacher. That's a good thing. Let's move on. Try to figure out where Mark Duncan of Fairbanks, Alaska went wrong in this story, Heidi. Was it A, when he stole somebody's checkbook? B, when he wrote himself a check for $83. Why would you write a weird amount?
$83.
C, when he went to cash the check at the grocery store that he works at? Or D, all of the above? If you
All of
guessed
the above.
D, you were correct. He was quickly caught when Mr. Duncan went to the place that he works and tried to cash a check that was not his check. And the police now have him in custody because that was not a smart thing to do. So many things in that story that went wrong. The beginning, the middle, the end, pretty much all of it. Moving on to a next dumb criminal in Ohio. The courthouse there, an Ohio man lost his temper when he set off metal detectors and he punched a police officer.
Ah.
Police say that the 61-year-old man started swearing when he was asked to step through a metal detector at the Delaware County Court for a second time. He was wrestled to the ground, later charged with assault, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. He was not carrying a weapon, and police believe the metal detector was triggered by a personal item. Oddly enough, he wasn't even going to court on personal charges. He was going in for jury duty.
Oh, wow.
So he's a 61-year-old man reporting for jury duty. He walked in, something beeped, and they said, hey, you need to go back through. He's like, I'm not going back through. They said, you need to go back through. It beeped. Fine. He walked back through. It beeped again. Then he got a little owly, and they had to wrestle him to the ground, and he was just going in for jury duty.
Yikes.
This guy's having a rough day.
I bet he wasn't chosen.
Well, I don't know. I wonder if he got... Your Honor, when's this jury going to be done? Because I have my own hearing coming up later this afternoon. I'm not sure how that works. All right, you ready for a strange law?
Sure.
In Chino, California, detonating a nuclear device within the city limits results in a $500 fine.
Only $500. If you were going to do that in the first place, I don't think the $500 fine would sway you.
Well, we were going to detonate this nuclear device, but $500 fine, that's pretty steep. We better not do that here. Let's move up the road, kids. All right, that is a strange law from Chino, California. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
Do you like fun t-shirts? Our friends at 80s Tees have a bunch of fun designs from the movies and pop culture. This month, we're giving you a chance to win a $25 credit to buy the t-shirt you like, with designs from Star Wars, Superman, Ghostbusters, Deadpool, and hundreds of others. Sign up to win a $25 credit. Register for free right now at winthisonline.com. We will select 2 winners at the end of this month. You could be one of them, but only if you register at winthisonline.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today. We've got Frans DeWaal, and he's been named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people, and we're chatting with him right now. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine.
Fantastic. We're glad to chat with you here. You've got Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are? And is that a new book? Is that the newest book that you have out?
Yeah, that's the last book that I did, yeah.
Now, the book, Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are? Let's talk about the inspiration for this. What was it that made you decide to do this book?
I think I've been for a long time in this field, and I think for the last century we have totally underestimated animal intelligence because many scientists, they try to reduce it to either instinct or very simple learning processes, and so they were not ready to consider it complex and wonderful. And that has changed in the last 20 or 25 years. We have a new view of animal intelligence at the moment, and that's what I wanted to show in the book.
And animals are pretty darn smart, aren't they?
Yeah, animals have the intelligence that they need given their environment. And so you don't expect necessarily an elephant to have the same intelligence as a chimpanzee or a chimpanzee the same as a dolphin. And so you always need to look, where do they live, how do they survive. And within that context, they're incredibly intelligent. They know everything there is to know.
What are some of the most amazing things that you discovered while you were preparing to put the book together? Are we smart enough to know how smart animals are?
Well, I think one of the big discoveries is in tool use. Of course, everyone knew that chimpanzees use tools and orangutans use tools. Then the discoveries came that they make tools, which was initially considered uniquely human, but a chimpanzee will modify a stick to make it suitable for the job that he's doing. And so they actually tool makers. And after that, we got discoveries of tool use everywhere. So in monkeys sometimes. The chimpanzees are, of course, apes, they're not monkeys. And after that, we got it in crows. And after that, we got it in the octopus. And we got it in even in crocodiles. And crocodiles, for example, they will swim with sticks on their snout, and these sticks are needed by herons. And so they do that when they're close to a heron colony, which is building nests, and all these herons are looking for sticks, and they will try to get them even if they're on the snout of a crocodile, and sometimes that ends badly for the bird and as a snack for the crocodile.
But you know that it's interesting because if it weren't for that snack for the crocodile would be kind of hungry too. So all of those things kind of work together, don't they?
Yeah, that's the problem is that people, of course, feel very sad that a bird is eaten, but the crocodile has to eat also, and so all of nature is like that. Animals eat each other, and sometimes they are very smart in how they achieve that goal.
Again, visiting right now with Frans DeWaal, author of a new book called "Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are?" And as you were doing the research for this book, where do you even go to find all of this stuff? Are there people that focus on this as like their main course of study, or who do you get the information from?
Well, I'm in this field. I'm right in the middle. I've been doing studies of animal behavior all my life, and so I know many people and many studies, and there's conferences where we meet each other, and there are, of course, journals that are dedicated to animal intelligence and cognition. And so there is a vast amount of knowledge out there, and since I'm right in the middle of it, I know most of that, yeah.
That's a lot better than, in my mind, I was thinking you were talking to the crocodile, but that's not what you did.
No, I talked to scientists who know the crocodile.
So the book, Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are, is available right now. And now this is not your first book. How many other books do you have, sir?
I have about, at the moment, a dozen books, I think. I started with chimpanzee politics. And in this particular season, in this country, that would be a most appropriate topic, actually.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing a lot of chimpanzee politics going on, a lot of posturing and being bigger and stronger and comparing anatomy and all of this. It's very chimp-like in many ways. So
watching the current political landscape in the United States, where we've got Bernie and Hillary on one side and Trump and Cruz on the other side, you're seeing kind of a similarity in the chimpanzee politics.
Well, the posturing is very similar, and that's why I'm very intrigued by what's going to happen in the next phase. It's very likely in the next phase we get a male and a female candidate. I don't think we've ever had that in this country.
No.
So we get a male against a female candidate, and the rules, I'm sure, are totally different. So among men, well, you're a man, so among men we can do this posturing, and we can do the blustering, and we can who's bigger and who's stronger. We can do all that stuff and make funny jokes and all of this. But, between a man and a woman, that's not the same dynamic, and it's maybe not going to go over very well if it becomes the same dynamic. And so I'm very curious how, let's say, the body language and the intimidation tactics are going to change if you get a female and a male candidate.
I want to read that book now, Frans, in addition to this other one. What is the name of the book so I can find that as well?
The old book is called Chimpanzee Politics, and that was the first book I wrote.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, that was in the early 80s.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to check it out.
Long before your present candidate.
Well, and the current book, once again, is called Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are? It's available right now. Where can I find a copy of this one?
Oh, you can find it in every bookstore, I would think, and your internet providers have it also available.
Well, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us here today. It sounds like a fun idea for a book, and I like the idea for the other one, too. I'm serious. I'm going to check that out. I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Frans. Have a great day. Again, Frans DeWaal, author of Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are? It's available right now at Amazon and wherever books are sold. Thank you so much for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Did you know that the cable network Nickelodeon started in 1979?
I did not.
Nickelodeon. When I was a kid,
I thought it was started. Yeah, I thought it started after.
No, I just don't think it was everywhere back then. So
Huh.
they started in 1979.
Interesting.
Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
On April 1st, 2002, the Netherlands was the first in the world to legalize euthanasia.
Oh.
So there you go. That was in 2002. Netherlands first to legalize euthanasia. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
35% of the people who use personal ads for dating are already married.
Oh.
Yeah, 35%.
That's a
lot
scary
of them.
number.
Yeah, it is. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Nick Romano once said, "Live fast, die young, and leave a good-looking corpse."
There you go.
That's quite a quote to live by. And finally, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The honeymoon capital of the world is who? Where? What do you think?
Niagara Falls?
You're right, Niagara Falls. How did you know that?
Because I knew it was a top wedding spot.
There you go.
So I figured
that does
honeymoon
make
comes
sense.
next.
I would have probably guessed Las Vegas, but no, you were correct. It is Niagara Falls. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show with our fun facts.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that will help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Do you have a name for your car, Heidi?
Yes.
We do have names for our cars, don't we? What is the name for your car? I don't think we've named your car. Do we have this
Gary.
conversation? What was it?
Gary.
Gary. Yeah. See, we never really call it by Gary, though. We don't use that name. Our daughter's got a car that she's got a name for. It's Susie. Yeah, we've always had names for our cars, but I don't know why we don't really use that name. Well, if you're planning on it, be careful what you name it, because it could cause you to have an accident. Actually, it has more to do with your personality, but the name you give your car does reveal something about you and your personality. Call your name something like Dusty or Scrappy, and you could end up having more accidents. Owners who dub their vehicles Theo and Daisy, or no, I'm sorry, Flo. Is that Flo or Theo? I can't really tell. Yeah, it's Flo. I just had a speck on my screen that made the L look like an I.
Okay.
Flo, because I've never heard of Theo before. Anyway, owners who dub their vehicles Flo or Daisy are likely to have scrapes and bumps, and drivers who call their cars Lightning and Linford are the worst nightmare for the insurance industry because they get a lot of speeding
Yeah,
tickets.
because they go fast.
This is all from a report. The RAC, I'm not sure who that is, they discovered nearly half of all motorists believe their car has a gender. 28% see their car as a female. 18% refer to their car as a male. Most popular boy names are Fred and Henry, while Beth, Bess, and Lizzie are the most popular girl names for cars. The report divided those who gave their cars a name into various categories. Rough and ready, you might call your car something like Skip, Dusty, Breadbasket, or Scrappy. Owners of these cars tend to be men in their 20s who might speed a lot. If you're a girl that likes to have fun, your car is most likely named something like Flo, Daisy, Lily, Vicky, Betty, or Lizzie. Drivers of these cars might be involved in low-speed scrapes and bumps through daydreaming. There you go. And if you have a need for speed, popular names for your car include things like Pocket Rocket, Lightning, Speedy, and
Rocket.
Linford. I still don't understand Linford on the
I
list.
don't either.
These are mostly owned by men under the age of 25, and their sole purpose is to travel as fast as they can to impress their pals.
There you go.
There you go. A couple of fun things for you right there on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
A couple of kids in Austria made a real behind of themselves, maybe is what you want to call it. They broke into their school recently. They wrote threats against teachers on the walls. They drilled holes in the floors. They smeared ketchup on the desks. They destroyed gym equipment, smashed windows to the tune of about $10,000. And then to finalize their little rampage, they thought, hey, let's photocopy our fannies. So they did just that. And they stuck them on the faculty fridge. Well, police enlarged the Xerox copies, and they were able to make out part of a face that was in the background. The headmaster said, oh, I know them. And they were arrested. So if it weren't for their behinds that they made a little, behind of themselves, they probably would have got away with it.
Silly
If
kids.
it wasn't for these kids and this crazy dog. I guess it wasn't a dog. It was his butt. That's what it was. All right, coming up, going to talk about being stressed out, and it can make you fat and unhealthy. Great. That's exactly what I need to read. Thank
we
you.
already know
That
this.
is on the way.
John and Heidi.
If you're stressed out, it could make you fat and unhealthy.
Uh-huh.
Do we really need to
That
read this
is that
study?
is not news to us at all.
It's one of the first things people do when they get stressed is they eat stuff that's bad
Yep.
for them. In other words, comfort foods. Plus, people who are stressed out tend to smoke and drink. I don't do a whole lot of that,
I do.
but they do more of that. And they blow off going to the gym. They're like, what's the point? It says here, to make matters worse, stress releases hormones and nerve chemicals into the body that weaken the immune system, making you more susceptible to illness. So what can you do? Some tips include skipping coffee and snacks at break times. Instead, take a quick walk, rather, to clear your head. Schedule those breaks as early as you would and do them like any other meeting, but schedule a walking break. And
We should schedule a walking break every day for work. We should
Maybe
do that.
right when we're done talking here, we can go for a walk while we're playing a song or something. What do
There
think?
you go.
We'll do that for a
Let's
while.
do that.
Cutting down on caffeine and eliminating it altogether help you get more sleep and in turn reduce your stress as well. So they're saying maybe kick that caffeine. And there's my next story is also about caffeine. So that's on the way. When we get back from our walk, we'll tell you all about it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you like fun t-shirts? Our friends at 80s Tees have a bunch of fun designs from the movies and pop culture. This month, we are giving you a chance to win a $25 credit to buy the t-shirt you like, with designs from Star Wars, Superman, Ghostbusters, Deadpool, and hundreds of others. Sign up to win a $25 credit. Register for free right now at winthisonline.com. We will select 2 winners at the end of this month. You could be one of them, but only if you register at winthisonline.com.
No caffeine for mamas-to-be, Heidi.
Okay.
Women have long been warned to not drink alcohol while pregnant. They've been warned to not smoke cigarettes while pregnant. Well, now it looks like you can add one more thing to your list of no-nos if you've maybe had a bun in the oven, and that is no more coffee, they're saying. I don't know if this is a good thing.
I don't remember. Well, this must be new.
It's a new thing. Researchers say that pregnant women who drink 2 or more cups of coffee per day have twice the risk of having a miscarriage than those who avoid caffeine. The warning also includes soda, so they're saying it's not just coffee, it's the caffeine. Although it would take 5 cans to get the equivalent amount of caffeine as 2 cups of coffee. For some reason, that sounds like a commercial, doesn't it?
It does.
It would take 5 cans of coffee, of
soda,
to get the same amount of caffeine as 1 cup of coffee. And I'm just picturing a bunch of cans stacking up for some reason. Something to do with a bowl of cereal there. Anyway, they've been conducting studies for like the past several years, but they say this latest report should settle the matter once and for all. They go on to say women who are pregnant or are trying to become pregnant and trying to have a baby should stop drinking coffee for at least 3 months, or better yet, the entire pregnancy is the best thing to do. So they're saying now, you want to have kids? Good for you. No coffee. No fun. Sit in the corner and eat some of that junk food that we were talking about in the last break to become stressed out. None of this stuff is really working for me. What do you think, Heidi? When you were pregnant, did you want coffee? Did you crave that?
No, not really. No.
But
I did drink soda.
Yeah.
And my kids are fine, so I don't know.
It turned out all right.
Yeah.
They talk really fast. And they bop all over the house. But other than that, no, they don't really. Coming up, we've got some good news to share. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is a pretty darn cool story. If you've got kids, you know how fast they outgrow shoes, right?
Yes.
They go through them pretty darn quick. So you buy them nice new shoes, and then before you know it, they don't fit in them anymore. Imagine how hard it could be if you were maybe somebody that couldn't afford to buy the new shoes when the kids grew. Imagine if you were in an underdeveloped country where it's hard to come by shoes. Well, there's a company that found a way to solve all of these problems. The shoe that grows. It is a one-size-fits-all shoe for children. Each shoe adjusts to 5 different sizes, and they're really well made and last about 5 years. The company makes 2 shoes, one small shoe that stretches and one large shoe that stretches. Together, company says that children can have a pair of shoes that fit from kindergarten through 9th grade with just 2 pairs of shoes. I think that's really cool. What do you're looking at me like I'm nuts.
I can't imagine how that those could possibly be comfortable. There's
Well,
no
I
way
have
if you
no
can
idea.
extend them and change them and stretch them.
Go gadget shoes.
It reminds me of those roller skates. Remember when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
They're plastic and you could pull them apart and
Well, look at these. I got an image. I'll throw this on Facebook too because it's not fair for me to share it with Heidi, but not for you guys. They're kind of
and those are stylish too.
they're kind of sandal looking shoes. Really, they curl up at the end. So
Looks
that
like
way-
one of the masks from Saw.
It kind of does. This is a catcher's mitt on your foot. Did you step in that sports gear there?
Wow,
I'm not exactly sure what that is.
those are horrible.
Well, it was a good idea.
And you'd
anyway.
be stuck with them until you graduate from high school.
Here's your new shoes. They're awful. Can I get some new ones? Not for 9 years.
Oh my goodness!
You know, it is a neat idea, and I understand what they're doing there. It makes a ton of sense. So that's the part that's good news. There are people out there that would just love to have a pair of shoes, and if you don't have shoes, these are better than no shoes.
This is true.
Not a lot better, but they're better than no shoes. No, they really. It's a neat idea. The shoe that grows. If you'd like to see that, I threw a link at our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Thursday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by WinThisOnline.com. We got some cool stuff on there for you to win. If you like to win, I hope you've signed in. It's free. It's free to register. It's free to win. It's a cool site. We know the guy that started it. It's not some big scary thing. It's really simple. It's really easy. Go check it out. WinThisOnline.com. New research suggests that deprivation of amino acids called arginine may contribute to Alzheimer's disease. That finding could help usher in new treatment strategies for patients suffering from the debilitating disease. A team at Duke University focusing on the immune system found that cells designed to protect the brain from infection will uncharacteristically consume arginine during the early stages of Alzheimer's. They say further tests are needed to find ways to better block the arginine consumption process. So they're saying we don't know exactly what to do, but hey, we're one step closer, and that's good news.
Huh.
It's very good news. It was a case of mistaken identity for a woman in Fort Worth, Texas. Shortly after she left a bank ATM, a 39-year-old woman found herself being stopped by the police, cuffed and stuffed into the back of a car. Oh, no, pushed to the ground, rather. The policemen had their guns pointed at her, though they thought that she thought maybe she had run a stop sign or something.
That's a pretty extreme reaction to running a stop
The
sign.
cops thought she just robbed the bank. She was just getting into her car when she was leaving the ATM, but a bank robber was fleeing the same bank, and when the bank robber fled, they thought it was her.
Huh. Was she running to her car
Apparently,
from the
I don't
ATM?
know. Police quickly figured out they had the wrong person. Mistaken identity incident was on the top of an already unpleasant banking experience.
Oh, man.
The ATM took her cash and didn't give her a receipt. So she didn't get her money or a receipt. So she got ripped off. Then she got caught by the police. The real crooks were still at large. So she was an accomplice,
That's
basically.
unfortunate.
It's like, so other than all of that, how was your day? I had the worst day ever. I was thrown to the ground. It was awful. Police in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma were in a standoff with the occupants of a house on Tuesday of last week. Officers said they were worried about the reported drug activity at the house. They called for a tactical team. For hours, they tried to make contact. Nobody inside would say anything. After 7 hours, an agent approached the house and found that there was nobody in there. So they were hanging out for 7 hours, shouting at a house, "Come out with your hands up!" And there's
That's
nobody even
unfortunate.
inside. They're like, "Okay, media, go home. Let's pretend like this didn't happen." And our final story: patients in a Dutch hospital are being allowed to choose the background music for their operation.
Oh, that's nice.
Anyone undergoing local anesthetic can now take their minds off surgery by listening to the tunes overhead, over headphones. There we go. So it's not for everybody, just for them. But if they want their doctor to listen in, the tunes can be played overhead on the speakers. This is at a place called the Emmen Hospital. It's a Dutch hospital. That's kind of a neat idea.
That is a very neat idea.
Because if you're going in for surgery,
You
you
wanna
should be
be
able to
soothed,
choose.
yep.
The only problem, though, is what if you like, really loud jamming music, and for some reason your doctor likes soothing music, and you're trying to, make
Well, that's
both of
why
them
you have
happy.
headphones. So
Oh, yeah, there you go.
yeah.
So I could see you just jamming there, and the doctor's over there with his scalpel trying not to cut you. Hey,
Right.
can you please turn it down a bit? Trying to trying to give you a new heart. Whatever they're trying to do. I don't know what they do. I'm not a doctor. I don't even pretend to be one. All right, that's going to do it for your bonus break. Brought to you by WinThisOnline.com. It's a great place to win. And if you're a business that would like to give away a prize, because here's the thing. There are a lot of people that like to give away a prize so that way people can try it before they buy it. If you want to give something away to attract some new customers, it's free to use. At least it is right now, and I hope it stays that way. If you'd like to use it, check it out, WinThisOnline.com. And if you'd like to win stuff, you can go there, register for free. That'll always be free at WinThisOnline.com.